So we're home, and I wanted to do a little experiment today. What I want to do is we ran our refrigerator off our 300 amp hour Renogy battery on our way back from Nashville. And as you can see, hopefully you can see there, we're at 70% on the battery. It used almost 90 amp hours to keep the refrigerator going while we were coming back from Nashville. So I want to charge up the battery, but I want to try to charge it up in a real world type of format. Let's say that we're out in Quartzsite or in a desert somewhere and I want to charge that battery, but I don't have a way to plug it in. So what I'm going to do is I have here, and I'll pull this out, maybe you can see it right there, all 37 pounds of it is a Renogy 200 watt suitcase solar panels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up. Now it's still shady, it's morning, it is 9:25 in the morning. I'm going to hook this up to the camper, and I'm going to let it charge the battery. Now it doesn't have an MPPT controller on it. It's got just the old-fashioned kind on it, but we're going to see how fast it can charge this Renogy battery. So give me a moment, let me get this hooked up and I'll show you the setup on it, and then we'll see what's going on. I've got the solar panels set up here behind me. I'm going to turn the camera so you can see it. This is a Renogy 200 watt suitcase solar panel setup. It is has a Voyager solar charge controller, 20 amp charge controller. So this is a PWM, I think they call it, charge controller. It's not an MPPT. And what I've got over here then are my cables. This is my little splitter that brings it down to 1 so I can plug it into the camper. And then I've got this is my inverter. Changes negative to positive, positive to negative, because on these Casita campers they use a ZAMP type of charging port, so the polarity is reversed on that. So you have to have a polarity reversing type of plug on it. So let's get this set up and let's see what type of amps. The sun is just now starting to come over here to where we should be able to start getting a little sun. All right, let's see. There. In there. So I'm inside the camper. I've got the cables hooked up outside for the solar. Sun still hasn't hit the panel yet, but we've got a nice blue sky today. Here I've got my Victron app for my Smart Shot hooked up. There's nothing coming in yet, but let me throw the switch to the battery and let's see what happens. All right, I threw the switch to the battery, and it's thinking about it. Give it a minute here. So right now coming in, it's sort of fluctuating a little bit on it because the sun isn't directly on the solar panel yet. So I'm getting anywhere from 0 to 0.12 amps fluctuating. But let's go out and see if we can do a little better than that. Let's go out and move the panel around a little bit. So as you can see, here's the controller, what it's doing right now. Let me kick this back here. And as you can see, we're pulling 0.3 amps right now in the shade. 0 amps, 0.3 amps, sort of fluctuating a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this alone today. I'm going to move the panels around as needed to get the most sunlight, and then we'll see how it looks in a few hours. Well, as you can see, the sun is starting to shine down here on the panel. I'm going to give it a little turn to face it more this way, since the sun is coming directly behind us here. But there's a couple other things I'm going to do today while I'm doing that. One is I've been cleaning the bathroom. I've been just sort of wiping everything down, I'm going to set this out in the sun, let that sort of just dry out a little bit more. But the other thing I'm going to do is see the shower curtain in there is I'm going to open up the awning here, and I am going to let it dry out a little bit today too, since it's so sunny. And I'm going to actually hang the shower curtain from the awning and let it sit out here in the sun to make sure we don't get a buildup of any mildew or anything like that on the shower curtain. So let me get that set up, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. That was good. All right, so what I'm going to use are these little these are little awning hooks, and I'm going to use these and then hang the shower curtain from these. So let me slide a couple of these in here. There you go. There you go. Got it hung up here, and just going to let it sort of dry out a little bit. We haven't had it out. We haven't had it out of the shower since I put it in. So we've gone all those days out west, and then our little trip to Nashville and through rain and all that. So I think it's time just to sort of let it air out. I'm going to do the same thing, like I said, with the acacia wood floor mat. Just let it air out a little bit. But I tell you what, let's go look and see what's going on with the solar. So right now we're drawing 0.4 amps off the solar, and I'll turn the camera around here and let you see where I have the panel. And as you can see here, it's still not quite halfway into sun, so it's going to take a little while, well, not much longer. We got that little line right there, that's going to move on over, and then we should be able to get some sun there. But I've got my wooden mat there just to sort of let it air out a little bit. And then if you can look, disregard that stuff back over there that belongs to my neighbor. As you can look here, I've got the shower curtain hanging, and I'm just going to let it air out. Same thing with the awning, let it air out. Check the awning for little imperfections or anything like that. And like I said, I've been cleaning on the inside of the camper, the bathroom, and just trying to get it ready. I'll turn this back around so you can see me. Trying to get it ready for our next trip, which I don't know when that's going to be, but it's not going to sit here. This is not going to be one of those campers that just sits and does nothing. And yes, I don't have a hat on. It was cool this morning when I stepped out, but we'll continue to monitor it. It is 10:04 right now, so we'll see how it works. We'll come back in about an hour or so and check everything out. One thing I've noticed about this is when I have to put the panel on the other side of the camper, this puts a lot of stress right here. That's why I've sort of got it up that way a little bit. I wish there was a better way to do this, because I don't like all that stress on that little joint. It was actually bent over pretty bad. So that's something I've got to look into, is trying to figure out how to relieve the stress on that. Besides having the solar panel on this side, because you can't always have it where you want it. So that's why it's over on the other side now, because of the sun. But there has to be a way to sort of help with the stress on that. Well, it's 10:55 a.m. and as you can see, the solar panels are in full sun right now. And as you can also see by this, we are at 71%. It looks like we're pulling 5.8. I saw 6 amps just a little bit ago. And so it is charging, and I'm sure as we get more and more sun, it's going to charge even better. So we'll try back again in about an hour. So I just wanted to show you, I made a little adjustment on the panel, just moved it a little bit forward, and if you look here, we're now drawing 6.8, 6.7 amps, 91 watts. So that little adjustment made quite a difference in the amount of energy that it's drawing. Now it's 6.9 amps. So just making a little adjustment, pointing it more toward the sun, makes a big difference in the amount of energy that you're generating. Okay, so it's 12 noon, and I adjusted the solar panel again, as you can see there. I'm trying to keep it facing up toward the sun as much as I can. Right now we're getting, according to the app here, we're getting 8.15 amps we're drawing, 109 watts, and we are at 74%. Trying to get this right so you can sort of see it. So it is charging slowly but surely, but it is charging. But then again, it has a long way to go. This is a 300 amp hour battery, and we had used about 90 amps, so we have to replace that 90 amps. The refrigerators on these, especially the three-way refrigerators, draw a lot of amps. You don't want to turn it on and depend on your battery to get it cold. You want it to be cold and then turn the battery on. So what I try to do is I try to have the refrigerator run about 24 hours before we leave. That way it uses less amperage to keep the refrigerator cold. It also has 5 settings on the refrigerator, so I turn it to like setting 3. I could probably take it down to 2 or 1 and even save more amps that way. But it is a power hog, that refrigerator. Right now, we're just slowly charging it. If I were boondocking during the day, I would probably have the refrigerator on propane, so it wouldn't be drawing off the battery. But right now, the only thing we really have going in the camper is the propane detector. That's really it. That and the thermostat is on, so that draws just very little power though. But we're doing okay. This is going to be a few hour thing anyway. So let's go ahead and let it continue to work and see what happens. So it is 1:46. We are at 79%. And right now we're at 9.08. I just saw 9.16 amps that we're charging. I'll show you the app here. As a matter of fact, let me get over here a little more in the shade, and you might be able to see the app a little bit better. But that's what we're doing right now on it. Let me see, maybe I can turn it around here. There we go. That's what we're doing right now on the system. So we've got like I said, we started out at 70%. So right now we're at 79%, and right now I think might be about our peak that we might be getting on power, about at just over 9 amps. So we'll continue to monitor it, how to speak properly, and we've generated, it says about 122 watts of power is what we're generating off of 200 watt panels. So it's okay. I wish it could be more. I wish I could hook up more solar to it, and I might be able to, but let's continue on. We've probably got about another maybe 5-6 hours of sunlight. Let's see how far we get on it. So it's 4:59 p.m., 5 p.m., and we are right now at 87%. Now, it would have been better than that, but I had to leave. I had dentist appointment and all that, so it would have been better than that. But we have gone up. We've added quite a bit, as a matter of fact. I think we've added about 50 amps to the battery, it looks like. We were at about a negative 90 on the amps. Now we're about negative 40 from where we were. So we went from 70% battery to 87%. It would have been more, but again, I had to leave and I wasn't able to adjust the solar panels to follow the sun the whole time. I think that that's pretty good, 17% increase, considering I wasn't monitoring it full time. It's showing 7.47 amps, but that was when I came down, it was only a little over 3 because the panel was not pointing directly at the sun. It went up once I pointed the panel directly at the sun. So anyhow, like I said, I'm gonna continue with this. This is the first part of it, and then we're gonna see how well we can do with it the next time. So hang in there. I'm gonna get back with you on it. So I sat down and I crunched some numbers on what happened with the solar panels and hooking it up and trying to charge the Renogy battery with it. I actually went out onto the Victron app and was able to pull some data down from that for the event where that we charged the battery. So let me give you some numbers. I'm going to bore you to death here, but some of you might be interested. The peak amperage that we got off the solar panels, remember these are Renogy 200 watt solar suitcase with a pulse wave monitor, a PWM solar controller. It's not an MPPT controller, so it's an older version of a controller. So the peak amps that we drew was 8.9 amps, and the number of hours that we actually had the solar panels working was 8.06 hours. Now, not all of that 8.06 hours was I monitoring it, or was I turning the panels to face the sun exactly. So these numbers are not going to be perfect numbers, but they're going to be numbers, probably more real life numbers, I guess. During that time, during that 8.06 hours, we took in approximately 51 amps of power. That's how much we recharged the battery. Remember, we had used about 99 amps on our way back from Nashville in the camper for the refrigerator. So we used that much, about 99 amps. So knowing that we charged it approximately 51 amps, that left us still down 39.3 amp hours is what we still need to put back into it. But we went from 70% to 87%, and that's on a 300 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery from Renogy. I estimated that it would take approximately another 6.21 hours to fully charge the battery. Now, why do I say that? Because over the span of, from the time we started till the time that we ended, again, I wasn't facing the solar panel exactly at the sun, and I'll show you on a little graph that I'll put out there. We drew an average of approximately 6.33 amps per hour. That's what we put into it. So at 6.33 amps per hour, it would take approximately 15.8 hours to fully charge our lithium battery, to bring everything back up to 100%. If I was depending on those panels to provide us with enough power, I feel like I would still be at a deficit, because I feel like 200 amps might not be enough. But again, that would be if I was using the refrigerator and using it on DC, using it on the battery. I won't be doing that. The only time I would be using the refrigerator on DC is whenever we're traveling. Other than that, the refrigerator would be working on propane. So we probably would be okay. So at 6.33 amps per hour, it would take 15.8 hours to get to 100 amps. If we go 8.9 amps, if we use the peak, it would take approximately 11.24 hours to get to that. But again, realize that that I didn't point the panel at the sun the full time. And also, I had shade earlier in the day because of the houses and all that from where we live. So anyhow, those are the numbers. Again, I feel like I would still be running a little bit at a deficit unless I was in an area like maybe the desert Southwest where I could get lots of sunshine. That might be okay then. And again, I wouldn't be running the refrigerator if I'm sitting at a campsite. I wouldn't be running the refrigerator on battery. I would be running it on propane. I'd be running the water heater on propane. The furnace, if we had to use the furnace, it still takes electricity to use the furnace because the blower has to kick on. It still takes electricity to use the water system because remember, we have to turn the pump on. That takes electricity. The lights take electricity. But I think we could get by with the 200 amps for now. Now, what I'd like to see is how much an MPPT solar controller, how much of a difference that might make as opposed to the old PWM monitors. And I hope I'm saying that properly. They got all of these initials out there and I have no clue, rolling on the floor laughing, ROL, ROF, L, whatever. Okay, anyhow, I'm going to get back to this. I'm losing it here. So anyhow, that's the numbers I crunched up on this. Hopefully those make sense to you. I'm going to go ahead and do a little more later with it. But I've had people ask me about doing the winterization on their camper, so I'm probably going to put together a video whenever I do the winterization on mine. I've got people asking me about other things with the camper, so I've got some more videos I got to put out. But anyhow, I hope this helped to understand the solar panel, how that it works to charge the battery, and the amp hours. And like I said, I've got some graphs I'm going to be putting out there to sort of show you exactly what happened during this with the graphs and everything. Oh, one other thing. I've got a chart here, a graph that I want to put up that shows the watts, or the volts, I should say, on the battery. And this should be so much proof that you don't go by the voltmeter. The voltmeter basically will tell you hardly nothing when it comes to a lithium battery. Because according to my voltmeter, my battery should be pretty much fully charged. Well, it's not. That volt meter never did really dip a whole lot. So get the shunt, put that on there, and that'll give you a much more accurate reading on the battery. Anyhow, I've rambled on way too much. And the congregation says, amen, brother. Anyhow, there's more videos coming out. I've got videos of our travels coming out. Also, I think I've got a trail that we took up at Rocky Mountain National Park coming out. I've got 3 on places we visited along the old Oregon Trail coming out, some waterfalls coming out. So stay tuned for those. And I hope this helps. If it did help, give us a thumbs up and all of that kind of stuff. If it didn't help, keep it to yourself. Come on. We're just in this for the fun anyway. We kindly appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.